Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to crack open source material and pull out the essential insights.
That's right.
And today, we've got a really gripping psychological novel, actually submitted by a listener. It's perfect for anyone who loves those, complex character studies.
And dramatic narratives, definitely. This one is wrapped up in quite a lot of social fog, you could say.
So what's the setup?
Okay, our main source material gives us this place called Follymead. It's a residential music college, but it's housed in this incredibly theatrical neo-Gothic estate.
Neo-Gothic.
Yeah, described as a monstrous stage set built by some family who apparently had way too much money back in the day.
Sounds like the perfect place for drama.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And our mission really is to unpack this one chaotic weekend. We're talking music, celebrity feuds, romantic betrayal.
Okay.
And it all culminates in a shocking double disappearance.
Wow. Okay, let's dive in. This Follymead place, it sounds like a character in itself.
It really is. It's described as this sort of eccentric kingdom. And the warden, the guy in charge, is Edward Arundale.
Right.
He's about 55, sounds pretty self-satisfied, and he's apparently turned Follymead into a, quote, national asset.
Okay. A man proud of his domain.
Very much so.
Yeah.
And then there's his wife, Audrey Arundale. She's about 15 years younger than him.
Okay.
Known for being, pale, elegant, very composed. And the text says he loves her helplessly and utterly.
Helplessly and utterly. That sounds intense.
It does.
But
she seems like the picture of social correctness. But, well, as we'll find out, there's a hidden past there.
Yeah.
A big one.
Right. There always is in these stories. So who else arrives on the scene?
Well, alongside the sort of serious students and the academics, we get our first maybe catalyst figure, Leary Palmer.
Leary Palmer.
Yeah, she's described as this tall, striking ballad singer. And she insists on ballad singer, not folk singer. Important distinction for her.
Okay, noted.
She gets a lift to this weekend course from Arundale himself, the warden. But interestingly, she says she's not really there to participate. She just came to study the form.
Study the form. That sounds a bit cagey, carrying an old guitar case.
Exactly, well-worn case. The description of her is quite chilling, actually, like a fate in the wings.
Ooh, okay. So she's not just there for the music theory workshops, then?
Almost certainly not. You get the feeling she's there for a very specific reason, and that reason seems connected to the main celebrity guest.
Ah, the celebrity element. Who's that?
That would be Lucien Galt. He's young, 23, a folk singer unlike Leary, described as calm, but also quite arrogant.
Okay.
Apparently some people call him Lucifer.
Lucifer. Well, that tells you something. Arrogant folk singer. Got it.
And his presence alone guarantees a certain amount of tension, especially because his main rival's also there.
Oh, great. Who's the rival?
A guy named Dickie Maurice. He's a disc jockey, TV personality type, described rather unkindly as a licensed clown.
A licensed clown. Ouch.
Yeah. And he apparently thrives on self-promotion and seems to really have it in for Lucien. He tries to, steal Lucien's audience during the weekend.
So professional jealousy, public spats.
Exactly. But honestly, that whole rivalry between Lucien and Dickie, it turns out to be mostly noise. Window dressing.
Really? For what?
For the real drama. The deep, quiet, intense stuff happening between Leary Palmer,
The ballad singer.
and Lucien Galt.
Ah, so they are the main event.
Absolutely. It comes out pretty quickly. They're ex-lovers.
Yeah.
Recent ex-lovers. And it ended badly. Deeply alienated is the phrase used.
Okay, so she did follow him there. Study the form, indeed.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Looking for some kind of confrontation, you have to assume, or maybe closure. It's not clear at first.
And does it boil over?
Oh, yeah. There's this moment during an informal concert. Leary gets up, unannounced. She picks up Lucien's guitar.
His guitar. Bold move.
Very.
Yeah.
And she performs this incredibly intense ballad. Then she puts the guitar down and says, loud enough for people to hear, it doesn't sing properly for me.
Wow. That's a statement.
It's brutal. A direct hit. Basically saying, this connection is broken. This instrument is yours, not mine anymore, in front of everyone.
Okay, so that's their relationship ending very publicly. What happens next? Does that release the tension?
You'd think so, but no. It's like that act closes one door and immediately opens another, much more dangerous one. The focus shifts.
From Leary and Lucien to
Lucien and Audrey Arundale, the warden's wife.
Audrey. Okay, I didn't see that coming. How?
Well, late that same Friday night, there's a witness. It's actually the son of the detective who eventually gets involved with a student named Dominic. He's observant.
What does he see?
He sees Lucien and Audrey meet secretly in this gallery space in Follymead.
Secretly. Okay, an affair.
That's what it looks like. The description is very specific, very charged. Lucien's hand delicately and deliberately touched Audrey's hand between their bodies.
Okay.
She accepts it. They clasp hands ardently. But here's the thing. No words, no outward show of emotion on their faces. Just this incredibly intense, silent connection.
Wow, hidden passion. That's explosive, given who she is.
Exactly. That handshake is basically the ticking bomb under the whole Follymead setup. And crucially, someone else sees it too.
Oh, no. Leary Palmer.
Leary sees them. The ex-lover. Oh, that's bad.
Very bad. She's hidden in an alcove nearby, sees the whole thing. The text says she was rigid with fury. She saw exactly what she was prepared to see.
Confirmation. She thought he'd moved on, and now she thinks she knows who with.
Precisely. And suddenly this whole weekend course isn't about music anymore. For Leary, it's shifted. Maybe towards revenge. Or at least exposing something.
Man, the pressure in that building must have been immense. So many secrets, so much tension. What finally makes it blow?
It's almost tragically mundane in a way. It's triggered by a teenager.
A teenager?
Yeah, Felicity Cope. She's the warden's niece, about 15 and a half. And she has this massive, all-consuming crush on Lucien Galt.
Oh, dear. Teenage crushes and arrogant folk singers.
Yeah.
Bad mix. Terrible mix. She follows him out into the grounds on Saturday afternoon, just desperate for his attention. Won't leave him alone.
And Lucifer probably doesn't handle that well.
He handles it with breathtaking cruelty. He clearly just wants to be left alone, so he decides to hurt her to make her go away.
How?
He weaponizes her crush and probably her jealousy of your beautiful aunt, Audrey. He gives Felicity this message to deliver.
A message for who? Audrey.
Yes. A completely false, vicious message for Audrey. He tells Felicity to tell Audrey to meet him immediately down at the grotto, and then he adds, like, give her love to Audrey.
Oh, that's nasty. Designed purely to twist the knife in Felicity.
Exactly, just to get rid of her.
Yeah.
You probably never imagined she'd actually deliver it or what would happen if she did.
But she does deliver it.
She does. And here's the twist. She seems to deliver it not just to Audrey, but when Edward Arundale, the warden, is also present.
Oh. So the warden hears this apparent message from Lucien Galt to his wife, asking her to meet him, sending his love.
That seems to be how it plays out. And the effect is instantaneous.
What does Arundale do?
He immediately cancels 2 speaking engagements he had lined up in Birmingham. Goes upstairs, packs an overnight case, throws some books in his car.
He's leaving.
He drives away. The source notes there's evidence of premeditation. He's clearly reacting strongly and making a plan. He vanishes.
The warden disappears. Okay. Is Lucien involved?
Well, that's the initial suspicion. Because almost immediately after Arundale leaves, young Dominic, the witness from before, finds something significant.
What?
Near this ornate iron gate by the river, which is flooding, he finds a broken silver chain and medal.
A medal?
Yeah, the one Lucien always wore around his neck. The one piece of jewelry he had. He'd even told Leary, apparently, that it was something he had from his father.
Okay, so Arundale is missing, and Lucien's broken medal is found near the river gate. It looks bad for Lucien.
It looks very bad. Especially when they find blood near the gate, too. The deputy warden gets nervous about a huge scandal wrecking Follymead's reputation.
Understandable.
So he quietly calls in Detective Inspector George Felse, who happens to be Dominic's father, to investigate what looks like Lucien Galt's disappearance. Maybe even murder.
So they think Lucien is the victim at first.
Yes, because Arundale drove off, seemingly leaving, while Lucien's personal item and blood are found at a potential crime scene. The search focuses on finding Lucien.
And who finds the body?
It's Leary Palmer. She's out searching frantically near the flooded river, and she finds a body snagged in a fallen tree.
And it's Lucien.
No. Here's the first huge twist. The body is identified as Edward Arundale, the warden.
What? Arundale? But he drove away. How did he end up in the river?
That's the question. He must have come back or never actually left the grounds properly.
Okay, so the missing person is the victim, not the suspect. What about the blood?
That's the next shock. The blood found near the gate, where the medal was, it's Group A.
And Arundale's is?
Group AB. It's not his blood.
So someone else was there, and they were injured. Likely Lucien given the medal.
That's the strong implication. Someone with Group A blood was injured in an altercation with Arundale.
What else did they find? Any weapons?
2 things are recovered that are pretty crucial. First, the heavy iron latch is missing from that ornate gate. It's found nearby, clearly used as a bludgeon.
A makeshift weapon, okay.
And second, they find a sword stick, one of those, canes with a hidden blade, described as a city gimmick, from a collection in the Follymead gallery.
A sword stick. Who would have grabbed that?
Felse notes it was likely taken by someone who knew the house, knew where to find it, someone familiar with Follymead.
So Arundale comes back, maybe confronts someone by the gate. There's a fight involving a sword stick and an iron latch. Arundale ends up dead, and someone else is bleeding. It points towards Lucien defending himself, right?
It certainly looks like a violent confrontation. But while Felse is piecing this together, they get news.
What news?
Lucien Galt has been picked up at London Airport, trying to get on a flight to Buenos Aires.
Fleeing the country. Why would he do that if it was self-defense?
Exactly. He confesses, apparently. Says he killed Arundale, but claims it was self-defense. Says Arundale attacked him with the sword stick.
But fleeing makes him look incredibly guilty. Why not just stay and explain? Ruin his career.
Right. It doesn't quite add up. If it's a clear case of defending himself against a jealous husband, why run? There has to be more to it.
There must be. What is it? This is where the surface interpretation fails, isn't it?
Completely. Because Lucien then reveals the staggering truth, the piece of information that changes absolutely everything.
Which is...
Audrey Arundale is his biological mother.
What? The warden's wife. His mother. How?
He was adopted as a baby. His parents were killed in the war by a V2 bomb. Audrey was very young, basically a teenager, when she had him. Her strict family, her upbringing, she was forced to give him up.
Wow. And they reconnected recently.
Yes, that's why they were meeting in secret. That ardent handshake Dominic saw. That wasn't illicit lovers. That was a mother and son reconnecting after decades, hiding it from her husband.
Oh my God. So Arundale, he thought he was confronting his wife's young lover.
Yes, fueled by that poisonous message Felicity delivered.
Which Lucien only gave her to be cruel.
Exactly. Arundale goes to the grotto, not just angry, but according to the investigation, with intent to kill. He takes the sword stick.
Intent to kill the man he thinks is sleeping with his wife, who is actually his wife's son.
Right.
The tragedy is just layered.
It's catastrophic miscommunication piled on hidden history. And Audrey figures out what her husband intends to do. She follows him.
To protect Lucien.
Yes. She gets there, sees Arundale attacking Lucien with a sword stick. That's when Lucien gets cut, leaving the Group A blood. And Audrey, she grabs the nearest thing, that heavy iron latch from the gate.
She used the latch.
She strikes her husband, kills him instantly to save her son.
So Audrey killed Arundale, not Lucien. Lucien confessed to protect her.
It seems so. He was trying to flee, maybe thinking he could take the blame or just escape the whole impossible situation.
And the medal, the one he said was his father's.
Another layer. The medal contained a tiny photo. It wasn't his father. It was a picture of Audrey, age 16. The mother he never knew he had until recently.
This is devastating. What about Leary Palmer, the ex-lover? Does she figure this out?
Leary is smart. And she's an artist, attuned to deep currents of emotion and story. She puts it together. She realizes Audrey killed Arundale to save Lucien, and that Audrey will inevitably be arrested, probably for manslaughter.
And what does she do? Confront her? Go to the police?
She does something extraordinary, and very much in character for The Fate and the Wings, in the final concert performance of the weekend. She gets up and performs again. This time it's an old dark ballad called Gil Morris.
Gil Morris, what's the significance?
The ballad tells the story of Lord Barnard, who mistakenly kills his wife's secret son, Gil Morris, believing him to be her lover.
It's the Follymead story, an exact allegory.
A minute by minute. Lord Barnard is Arundale. The lady is Audrey. Gil Morris, the tragically misunderstood son, is Lucien. She performs this story, this warning, right there in the hall.
As a message to who?
To Audrey, who is sitting in the audience.
Oh, wow. What does Audrey do?
She understands immediately. Song is Leary telling her the truth is known, or will be soon, and perhaps offering her a way out, a final narrative beat. As the ballad reaches its climax, Audrey slips out of an unlatched window.
She escapes.
She escapes capture. They find out later she drowned herself in the river. She chose death, facing the consequences, ensuring she couldn't be forced to testify against her son, perhaps.
Yeah.
A final, terrible act of protection.
Just unbelievable tragedy all around. What happens with the official investigation? With Felse?
Felse is left with the wreckage. He knows the full truth, the hidden identity, Audrey's act of killing her husband to save her son. He realizes that exposing this whole story would utterly destroy Follymead, the institution Arundale built.
The scandal would be enormous.
Exactly. A weapon, he thinks, for the college's enemies. So he makes a decision. He essentially contains the story.
Does he prosecute Lucien?
No. With Audrey deceased, he rules the death as manslaughter committed by her in self-defense or defense of another. Lucien's involvement, his initial confession, it gets managed, left ambiguous. The priority becomes protecting the institution from total collapse.
Is that justice, though? Covering up the full circumstances of the warden's death?
It's certainly pragmatic. Felse weighs the value of the institution, the national asset, against the full destructive truth of one family's tragedy. He recognizes Audrey wasn't just the cold wife everyone saw.
Right.
She was someone whose life was shaped by denied passion, forced choices, starting with giving up her son. And that suppressed passion, when it finally erupted to protect him, was catastrophic.
So connecting this back, the explosive device wasn't really the affair everyone thought was happening. It was the hidden truth, wasn't it? Audrey's identity.
Absolutely. That single buried fact that Audrey was Lucien's mother was the core instability beneath all the social graces and artistic pretensions of Follymead. That one handshake they shared, that moment of connection, that lit the fuse.
And things like Dickie Maurice being a jerk or Felicity's teenage heartbreak. They were just like sparks, minor elements that happened to ignite the real powder keg.
Exactly. They were catalysts, but the explosive potential was already there, built into the foundations by that decades-old secret. Felse saw that revealing the motive, the maternal protection, would be far more damaging to the institution's image than the killing itself, if framed differently. Discretion was key.
It really highlights the power of information, doesn't it? And how easily things can be misinterpreted when you don't have the full story. Audrey wasn't cold, she was constrained.
Until the very end. Her final act, killing her husband while criminal, was arguably the first truly authentic, passionate thing she'd been allowed to do in her life, driven by that fierce, primal love for the son she'd lost.
So for you, the learner, listening to this, the real deep dive isn't just figuring out who done it, it's understanding the why. It's about digging into identity, hidden motives, the catastrophic consequences of secrets.
The crime only makes sense once you know who the people really are to each other.
Which leaves us with the final thought to chew on. Lucien Galt had two incredibly powerful women in his orbit that weekend. Leary Palmer, his ex-lover, the fierce artist who saw the truth and sang it out loud, maybe saving him from immediate suspicion, but also exposing the whole tragedy.
Right.
And Audrey Arundale, his long-lost mother, who committed murder and then sacrificed her own life in silence to protect him.
Two very different kinds of protection or intervention.
So the provocative thought is this. Considering Lucien's history, his likely trauma from abandonment, which of those two women ultimately gave him something he needed more desperately? Was it Leary's fierce public clarity, or was it Audrey's silent, absolute, devastating sacrifice?